Welcome to the Rubio Method. Venture into the unfiltered world of Chris Rubio. The Rubio Method delivers an unapologetically edgy take on the often overlooked world of men's mental health. Rubio, a master communicator, wields a potent knack for no BS enlightenment. Step into this no-nonsense arena, where men are challenged to evolve and confront the man staring back at them from the mirror.
Focus up. Jenna, you said you didn't have the intro, but that seems like the intro to me. Welcome to episode 89 of the Rubio Method. 11 more until 100. That's going to be an epic show. May have to do like a best of, get a couple Canadians on here, have a good time. Not the fixed one. I think it looks great, Jenna. Okay. Jenna's obviously the producer in the back. She's doing all the high-tech stuff that I have no idea what's going on. Yes, I'm obviously doing a live show. Nana Mona says, good evening, Rubio, with a nice little font right there. Hey, Rubio, showtime, sub 60 Ed, low 5, my man, low 5. We're live on, what are we live on? LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and possibly Rumble. I'm not sure if Jenna got it. No YouTube for a little bit because I got dinged. I got a couple strikes because you're not allowed to talk about certain things that have to do with COVID. And they said, you're not allowed to upload until... I think it's April. So I apologize. Not really. But anyway, okay, no Rumble, but she did YouTube anyway, just because I don't think it'll work, but maybe it will. Who knows? Welcome to everyone. If you have any questions, you can obviously comment. I'm sure we'll have a couple good ones today. You can also email Rubio at therubiomethod.com. Sub 60 says low 5. We've got a phenomenal show. Obviously, this is one that I've been waiting to do. I hope it was going to happen, and it is. The 5 sections we're going to talk about. Everything happens for a reason. We're going to obviously talk about El Trumpo being sworn in as the 47th president and him just coming in hot, real hot. There are winners and losers in life. Joey B is going on a pardoning spree, and he spent the last 15 minutes going absolutely berserk, and we're going to talk about just some people that he decided, last 15 minutes, let him reign. Accept and embrace. We're going to talk about how Trump has been in office for just over 24 hours, and there's already a great hoax going around. It involves Elon Musk, and it might be the dumbest one of all time. It is on YouTube, Humble says. Fantastic. Working hard is not enough. I have broken the code for men waiting on women. I'm just going to let you guys know, every married man and or man in a relationship with a woman, you guys are going to owe me high 5, sub 60, low 5, once I give you this jailbreak trick that I've learned. It's unbelievable. You got to be strong when you're starting it. Jenna's going to yell at me. I guarantee it, but we'll see. Confidence is the key. That section, we're going to talk about El Trumpo and JD Vance attended their night at the Commander-in-Chief ball, and it is absolutely hilarious. It is so good. Jenna, you have not waited for men more. That is a flat out lie. Okay, good God. And then we're going to have the bottom line where everything we learned throughout the show, I'm just going to break it down for you, 3 little quick points. All right. So let's just bring out my first guest. This is Nick Humble. Jenna, bring him out. Let's get him going here. I'm as fired up as Humble is for this. We've been waiting for this for a long time. Humble, go Cats, go. I didn't even notice your hat.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so Humble, for those that don't know who you are, give them a 30-second who you are and why you should be allowed, or why I want you commenting on everything that's kind of going on right now. Give them a 30-second version.
Retired Green Beret, former defense contractor, strongman, competitor, NCAA football enthusiast,
all-American badass. That's the way I'll do it. Okay, so Humble and everyone watching, let's go back to about 2020. All right, obviously there was an election between Joey B and El Trumpo, and for some reason, Joey B got more votes than any other presidential candidate in the history of man. He just happened to get that many votes. It was an incredible amount. He didn't campaign. He didn't do any of that. But everyone decided, you know what? I think it was 88 million or something came out and voted for more than him than even Barack Obama and even Trump beforehand. So Joey B is the president. And I remember when it happened, I remember looking to my wife and saying, all right, Jolie, this is going to get bad. I don't think it's going to get that bad because I think there's enough common sense around in America, but it's going to get bad. We got to buckle up. And it was worse than I expected. I knew he was in a cognitive decline. I knew that they would push a lot of the quote unquote woke stuff. I just did not know how bad it would be and how pathetic so many of the Republicans were that allowed it to happen. where it was just over and over and over. And the way I describe it, Humble, is this. Imagine you and I are, let's say, college roommates, and we're watching our next door neighbor across the street. He has teenagers age 16, 17, and 18, and they're okay kids, but they're kind of outlandish. And he comes to us and says, Rubio, Humble, I decided I'm going for a 4-year vacation, and I'm going to let the kids do whatever they want. They're going to have unlimited funds. They have unlimited credit card. It's an American Express Black card. Unlimited funds. They can do whatever they want. They can make any rules. 4 years. How bad could it be? Chastity, her name's Chastity, says, Humble in the house. I said, yes. Humble in the White House, more like it. Hell yes. Alex Grew says, Biden's puppeteers have been doing all the damage to this great country. Well, we're going to talk about that, Grew. And so we watch these kids, and on day one, we're kind of like, okay, they're just kind of saying, okay, the dogs can go outside of the front yard. They could take a crap on the lawn, on my lawn. They're going to start having parties, and we can't call the neighbor who owns the house because he's on vacation out of range. And then all of a sudden they get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And we're watching, and we're like saying, hey guys, you got to keep your dog off my yard. And they're like, you're not allowed to say the word yard anymore. It's everyone. It's everyone. Okay, they're just coming up with some random word. And after like the entire block and town just went down. The street went to hell, and all because of this one house and these one kids, because it trickled over to the next house where they said, oh, we don't need rules. We're not allowed to say anything anyway, so let's just let it go. And then after 4 years, Daddy comes home, and Daddy's pissed. And look, says, what happened? And we say, hey man, we told you this was going to happen, but we were not allowed to say anything. You gave your kids carte blanche. They made all these new rules up where you can't even say dude or girl or guy or what. Or they just said they identified as the new mayor of the town, and they were the new mayor of the town. And there's nothing we can do. But now Daddy's home, and all hell is breaking loose. El Trumpo was sworn in as the 47th president and is not playing around. Within the first 24 hours, I think it was 12 hours, Humble, here's what he did. 42 executive orders / memoranda / proclamations, 115 personnel actions, more than 200 executive actions, 60 minutes of press conferences with Q&A, 3 historic speeches, and several gala appearances. That was the first 12 hours. And you're thinking, okay, but here's the thing. He literally did more press Q&A without cue cards and without knowing who was calling than Joey B did in 4 years. Humble, is that a lie?
No, that's a fact.
Yeah, that's literally a fact. And even the reporters today, because he did another one, and they said it's kind of refreshing. And we're going to see some videos on it. Humble, when you were watching the speech, his original speech, were you laughing as much as I was? Here's the thing. I'm not going to lie to you. I already told you this. I think I did. I was emotional. I was sitting in Salt Lake City Airport, and I was watching it, and I was like, I'm getting tears in my eyes right now because Daddy's back. Like it's finally happening. We waited so long, and it's here.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know. I've been in the first presidential election I really remember is the Clinton administrations, right? I just graduated high school. It was the first ones I voted in. And so I don't ever remember like, oh, look, new president in her. Oh, this guy's getting another 4 years. But like this one, I was like, oh man, thank God. And it was more like, oh man, when John Roberts said, congratulations, Mr. President, I was like, okay, we got him to the line, right? Like, they didn't get him killed off. Like, he's not sitting in some gulag somewhere. Like, the dude is here. And at that point, it was like this. And it sounds cliche and almost just ridiculous, but I was like, damn, dude. It was.
I think that's why I got emotional, because I was like, it was like when you take the biggest piss of your life. Like you've been waiting to piss, waiting to piss, and then you're like, oh my God, finally. Okay, you've just reached the bathroom, and that's what I was like emotional looking at it. And it was so bizarre. Like he gets up there to do a speech, and he is just flat out dropping bombs on Kamala and Joey B and everyone, and they're sitting a foot behind him, and there's nothing they can do. And he wasn't stating anything that was false. I was like laughing and crying, like, holy hell! Imagine like ripping on the person that just tried to get you killed, allegedly, thrown in jail, not allegedly, over and over and over, and there's nothing they can do. And now you're the person of power, and it's just one of those those things that I was just like, holy hell, he's really letting it rain, man.
I mean, what's he got to lose?
Well, I know exactly. That's the best part is this. He's not running for re-election, even though they think he's going to. He's not running for re-election. He's got 4 years to just swing it around, Daddy. Swing it around.
It was. I enjoyed the whole day, and I've never. Like you said it earlier, we were talking before the show. Like the college football playoff national championship was last night. I could give two shits to watch that game, and I watched hundreds of football games every year, and I was just like, I don't care about this game.
Yeah, and because he's such a like a gamesman that it was super cold. It was like between 10 and 15 degrees. So they cut the parade. They didn't do the parade. They did it in the Rotunda, and then they rented out Capital One Arena where some ice hockey team plays. They fit in 20,000 people. They had the bands going through it. And then there was rumors that this was going to happen, Humble. They put a damn desk on the stage. For those of the people that didn't watch, Jenna, do you have a picture of the desk? I saw this and I'm like, he's really going to start signing executive orders. Like, it's going to be unbelievable. And so he goes in there and he does a little speech. Everyone's coming in. They've got the bands, all that. The dude goes and sits down at the desk. He's got like 19 Mega Man Sharpies going around that he eventually throws into the crowd like a damn T-shirt cannon at a college basketball game. But he has someone introducing each executive order as he's signing it. And this is only like 1/5 of the executive orders. Jenna, do you have the video of El Trumpo signing in front of the crowd?
President Trump is a regulatory freeze, as you announced in your speech, preventing bureaucrats from issuing any more regulations until we have full control of this, the government and this administration. The next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty. We're going to save over $1 trillion by withdrawing from that treaty.
What's so great is this dude's handing to him. I don't even know who the guy was. He reads it. And he's like, every time, El Trump, oh, that's a good one. Some say it's the best. And he's like, tell him that to say $41 trillion or something like that. Humble, did you love that part as much as I did?
Yeah, he just, you know what's refreshing, man, is you have somebody that's like, he's not in mental decline. And he's not, we all know that Joey B is not. I mean, Speaker Johnson came out and said it last week. Like, I was talking to him like, sir, why did you do this? He's like, well, I didn't do that. Like, he was serious about it. He didn't even know what he did.
Yeah. 100%. And the thing is, he does all this. He's signing. It's like the old gladiators, like, or no, and everyone's cheering. This goes on for over an hour, and he's just talking, doing all this. Then he goes back to the White House, and he starts signing more. And the best part about this, and you and I have already talked about this several times, he's going back, he's signing them. There's stacks of them. He looks like a dude, the most popular kid in high school signing yearbooks. He's going in there, he's signing all these. He's reading what they are, what he's doing, and then he's getting peppered with questions from the press. There's like 50 members of the press, and they're asking him questions. So he's signing, talking about the bill. Someone peppers him with a question, and it's not an easy question. Do you like ketchup on your hot dog? Okay. Do you like hard or soft pretzels? There are real questions. He's signing, answering the questions while going on, and they're saying that this is more than Joey B did in 4 years, and this was in 1 hour. And I think El Trumpo even stops and says, hey, did you guys ever do this with Joey B?
Yeah, he asked Peter Ducey. He's like, hey, he goes, hey, Peter, have you ever seen this done by the former administration? He was like, no, sir.
Yeah, Jim, do you have that video of him signing and talking? This is unbelievable.
In there, where we're doing further research. Nice to see you again. So this is a big one. Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get him. We hope they come out tonight. Frankly, they're expecting it. Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not meet or pardon of people?
We're looking at different things. but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look, and maybe it'll stay that way.
Okay, so I love the fact that, well, this is a big one. Just like had no idea what he was even looking at before. He knows what's coming, and it's just hilarious how he just plays the crowd of, "Whoo, this is a big one." And this one was the January 6th one, where all the January 6th criminals are, getting released, and they started getting released like within the hour, but a lot of them they're holding.
Yeah. So have you been paying attention to Twitter and some of the news about this stuff?
Oh yeah.
So DC's like a hotbed right now. They had to get the U.S. Marshals, so they let go 4 or 5 guys last night. Then this morning she let 2 or 3 more go, but then she's like, nobody else is leaving. And then some guy got wheeled out last night. I didn't know it, but apparently some dude got the boots put to him by a guard, and he ended up in an ambulance and went to a hospital. That was his release out of prison. Oh yeah. So, the U.S. Marshals were called in to D.C. today, and they had to go in and say, hey, these dudes are all coming out, like by name. Like, you knew this was coming. Let's go. And so now I just read 10 minutes ago before we started the show that now Muriel Bowser is trying to say, we will not let you out unless you sign a non-disclosure saying that you can't talk about the way you were treated in this prison. And I was like, dude, so this is what she doesn't understand. Like, we allowed DC to get representation and govern themselves with a mayor. The Constitution does not guarantee her that. We can strip that and pull all of that out, and that would go back to the federal government running DC.
Okay, and for everyone, because I know some people are watching right now, because some people love the show, some people hate the show, but they just watch because they hate it and they want to make fun of it. That's great. I don't care. Everyone that's, oh my God, January 6th, this was insurrection, blah, 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 blah. Jenna, you couldn't up this Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald's a comic. He sadly passed away from cancer, I think 2 years ago. He had a great photo and comment on January 6th. Jenna, can you have this put up for me, please? For those that are listening on Spotify and iTunes, it shows the insurrectionists walking through the basically on a tour. And he says, I loved when the violent terrorists made sure to respect the velvet ropes in Statuary Hall. And like that to me is perfect, because there's so many videos of them opening the doors. And don't get me wrong, there was some asses out there, there's always going to be. But if you really watch all of the videos, you can see how a lot of it was sparked, where they're just kind of hanging out, but having a good time. And then you got Ray Epps, who no one's allowed to talk to, saying, we got to go in. And they're doing smoke bombs and shock bombs and all that stuff. And it got the crowd really going. And don't get me wrong, there was some asses in there. Go ahead, Humble.
Did you see what the CNN? So they got a right-wing guy on CNN now.
Stephen. I know what you're talking about.
So he made a comment last night, I think, that was really fitting for this. He said, they're like, well, how can you support this? The people that beat cops and blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, listen, did we destroy those people's lives? Yes. Did we destroy them financially? Yes. Did we destroy their reputation? Yes. Did we destroy their family? Yes. Do they have any... Are they going to be remembered in society, and probably 90% of the jobs they apply for not get because someone's going to look that up and they're going to be a J6er? Yes. Are they completely destroyed forever? Yes. Now, during the Summer of Love, we burned billions of dollars worth of stuff, and absolutely nobody went to prison. Nobody was indicted. Those lives were not ruined. So I think that all of those people have paid the price. Right?
Yeah,
I think we've ruined those people enough.
I saw a great comment saying, why don't you just give them the same exact punishment that the BLM protesters got? And the person was just silent. There's the argument, like, what are you doing? So executive orders. The first one he did was rescission of 78 Biden-era executive orders. He froze federal regulations, froze federal hiring, so no more federal hiring right out of the gate. He signed an executive order pardoning 1,500 January 6 participants. Federal workers must return to full-time in-person work immediately. No more milking the system at home. Designating cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, securing the southern border. You could see troops already down there, restoring merit-based hiring systems. That's wild. So in other words, that's translation DEI you're DIE now. You're dead. It's over. So if you're, brown woman, sub 60, you're not, it's whoever's the best gets the job, which call me crazy. He protects American women from the dangers of radical gender ideology. That was another one where it was almost shocking to me, Humble, how that was a selling point, where he said, in America, there are two genders. And people were losing. I'm like, why, where are we in a society where that's a thing? Like, we really have to say, like, oh, there's two genders. How many genders are there in a dog? Two. Am I missing something?
They're LARPing, dude.
Okay.
When it goes down, there's
World Health Organization. He withdrew from the World Health Organization as well. He should, because throughout the Rona, they were just spewing information left and right. Where okay, no, this is yes, no, yes, no, and they were just making things up. They peace out to catch a release and restoring remain in Mexico policy. Repeals transgender troops in military and is not paying for their surgeries in the military anymore. Removes security clearance for 51 former intelligence officers who's lied about Hunter Biden's laptop when they said it was Russian disinformation and it really wasn't his. They flat out lied. Either they lied or they're completely ignorant. Their security clearance is gone. I love this one. Renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. I thought that was fantastic. Why not? Directive to address the cost of living crisis. Withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty, which he already says is going to save like 41 trillion or whatever. Directive to restore free speech and eliminate government censorship. What a concept. Directive to end government weaponization against political opponents. And this is not all of them. This is just, I hit some big winners here. Humble, did you? Oh, that was another. Nana Mona makes a great point. I love in his speech, he goes, when we're going to drill, baby, drill. That was awesome.
Every one of those policies that he put in there to me was something that either like shut down. What is this DEI? We spend billions of dollars on it. Right. And it's like, and I understand. So let's talk about the border real quick. I understand that some people that are coming to the border, right, are legitimately in a shitty situation, right? Well, I can walk into any town in America and there are people in a shitty situation.
100%.
And so I do not, the this is my biggest point of the NGOs that are feeding that, right, that are in Panama, feeding those and dropping them people off. And there's a ton of podcasts out there you can watch about how this was done. Everyone knew that the minute that Trump won that election, that on day one, he was going to cut the border off, right? Yeah. So the fact that the NGO still funded these people to come to the border in what I consider a media frenzy to go, oh, look, he shut down CBP1. He's not letting anybody in. Everyone knew this was coming. If you didn't know that it was coming, come on, man. Everybody knew.
You were in a coma. And the CPB app, that's the one where Joey B just reset it up as an app. And I saw a great picture of all these illegals holding up the app on their smartphones and how it's closed. The fact that they're holding up a smartphone.
Go to DEI.gov.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, he's already got that out. And so it's just one of those things like, guys, and it's not that he's starting anything new. He's just ending everything that's bad. Like, and I've said it 1,000 times, the whole DEI argument, if you're a person of color, female, and you say your son or daughter needs brain surgery, do you say, I want the best Mexican woman to do my surgery? Or do you say, I want the best surgeon to do my surgery? Yeah,
and it's funny how like if you listen to the prayer today, if you see that woke craziness, and the first thing that comes out of all of these left-wing guys' mouths are the people that pick our crops. Okay. First off, let's start here. I grew up in Iowa. Do you know who picks crops in Iowa? $750,000 to $1 million machines made by John Deere, Case IH, New Holland. They're called combines. Do you know what picks cotton? Cotton pickers. They're these massive machines. They pick potatoes in Idaho with machines. Like, I would say 95% of all crops picked in this country are done with some sort of machine that costs between $150,000 and $1 million.
Absolutely.
So it pisses me off when people are like, well, they pick our crops, they wash our dishes, they mow our lawns, they do this. Okay, Why do they do that? Well, because the labor's cheaper and Americans demand more. So what you're saying is you want somebody here to do cheaper labor that you can keep under your thumb. That's the exact thing that you're talking about getting away from.
Yep.
Blows my.
Well, and it's one of those things I've argued with someone before on decades that, okay, if well, you've got hair. Yeah, you've got hair. If all of a sudden your barber dies, okay, you don't stop getting a haircut because your barber dies. You know what you do? You find a new barber. I mean, it's one of those things that it's just, I mean, third grade common sense here, guys. I just don't.
Thing blows my mind too. Like, people do not understand how tariffs work. They just don't. He's using it as a leverage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's look at the chip factory. Biden told the chip company, hey, we're going to give you $2 billion to build a chip factory in Texas. He did that 3 years ago. At no point, that chip factory hasn't even broke ground yet because there's no incentive for it to break ground. How Trump uses a tariff is he says, hey, chip company, if you don't build this building here that I'm not giving you a fucking dime to build, I'm going to throw a 60% tariff on your ass. Oh, we're the biggest marketer, the biggest consumer of your chips. That shit's going to cost you out your ass. And if you raise it by 60%, someone else can build a fucking factory here and they're going to figure out how to do it without you. So what do? Hey, I want to continue to make this money because my bottom line I owe to my shareholders and stakeholders. So they build the thing here and they don't end up with a tariff. He creates jobs, doesn't have a tariff, and it's American made.
It's not hard. It's really not hard. Let's move on. There are winners and losers in life. Joey B. Hopefully this is the last time we're going to talk about Joey B for a long, long time. He pardoned over 8,000 people. The only other president that pardoned more was Jimmy Carter when he pardoned all the people that didn't go to Vietnam. That they didn't say. I can't remember what's the word I'm looking for.
Draft dodgers.
Draft dodgers. Yes, it was like 250,000 people. He pardoned them. The real interesting part, though, Humble, the last 15 minutes before he was out of office, and El Trumpo was giving a speech, so he didn't even know about it. He decided he is going to preemptively pardon several people. He's going to preemptive pardon Mark Milley, General Mark Milley. He's a high up who said he warned China about El Trumpo way back in the day. He's also been very, very woke. Liz Cheney, who 2 weeks ago, she got the Presidential Citizens Medal, which is the second highest honor a citizen can get, and now she needs a pardon. Okay. By the way, preemptive. Like she's not under arrest for anything yet. Not on trial on anything. Also, Adam Schiff. Okay. Adam Kinzinger. Dr. Fauci, which that's a big one, and all members of the January 6th committee. And one final one. Every member of this family going back to 2014. And the preemptive pardons, that means before they've even done anything. And Jenna, do you have a video of someone named Joy Reid and Adam Schiff that you could play for us?
Ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no, it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
Is there an innocent explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members? Would you do that if you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
The answer to that is going to be no. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crimes. And we may not be aware of what they are, but the pardon is clear evidence.
Family.
Okay, just pause there, Jenna, because we're going to come back to it. Don't lose the spot. Everyone, these are all people talking about El Trumpo when they thought he was going to pardon everyone. They're not talking about Joey B. This is happening several years ago. They're talking about Trumpo. Go ahead, Jenna. There's about another minute left, I think. It's so fantastic.
People that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
Is there an innocent explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members? Would you do that if you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
The answer to that is going to be no. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling.
Okay, we're done with that, Jenna. It's going to just keep going over and over and over. And Jenna says, is it like a jail free card? She wants one. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
For all federal crimes.
For
Correct.
a federal crime.
Federal crimes.
So, Umble, do you want to explain it to people about how state and federal could be different on this one?
Yes. So when a president issues a pardon, it only covers you for federal crimes. So, for instance, it came out on Twitter or X about an hour or so ago. The district attorney in Philadelphia is looking at how he can charge any J6er that has any ties to the state of Pennsylvania. And the reason he's doing that is the same reason that they tried Trump in New York State under a state statute, not a federal one, because presidential pardons only cover federal crimes, not state and below. So that is the pardon right there, right? Is that the presidential pardon can only help you on federal crimes. What's funny is, do you know where this whole preemptive pardon thing started and came out of?
I'm listening.
There's been one preemptive pardon in the history of the United States. Do you know what it was?
No.
Gerald Ford gave a preemptive pardon to Richard Nixon when he left office. That is the only preemptive pardon ever given. So when Trump looked at doing that, he was going off the basis that no one had ever challenged the preemptive pardon that Gerald Ford gave to Richard Nixon. And he decided against it because he was like, this will probably get challenged in a court of law. I really don't want to go about doing this. This could look really bad. Let's just not do this at all and move out. Right. But for Joey B to do it with the amount of people that he did it, really but that's the precedence. The precedence that they're using is that Gerald Ford preemptively pardoned Richard Nixon from any crimes.
Well, and this sets a precedent now. If Joey B does it, every president would be stupid not to do it 15 minutes beforehand for their family. I mean, and the fact.
For anybody.
Yeah, for anybody, just let it rain. And this is me putting my tinfoil hat on. The fact that it goes to 2014, and that just happens to be when Obama and Fauci took over the Ukraine biolabs, and the CIA took over the Ukraine government.
That 2014 date isn't necessarily that. What it is that's when Congress passed a law that said you cannot use gain of function. That's why it went to 14.
That's weird, but why would you need to do that?
Strange, isn't it?
It's just so odd. I can't figure it out. I wish I had hair so I could pull some out because it just doesn't make sense. Like, I mean, you've got Fauci he does the gain of research function, right? Or gain of function.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's so weird. I don't understand that at all. You're talking a lot about Twitter /X, whatever people want to call it now. And I know a lot of people look at that and they hear that and immediately think, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He does not watch the news. He's getting all of this stuff from podcasters and bloggers. And I have my arguments for that, okay, of actually the mainstream media is no longer as credible as what you once thought it was due to the fact that there's, quote unquote, so many other reporters out there that aren't paid by the same corporations, and they can just actually find out real information, and you can see it like literally with your own eyes very, very quickly. So what is your argument for why do you get your information from X?
Well, that X is probably 10% of where I get my info from, man. I read a lot. I watch, and I don't just watch, like I'm a big PBD fan. I'm a big Joe Rogan fan. I like Tim Pool, but I go to a lot of different places. Like I go to places that most conservatives won't go. And my wife, why are you watching this? How can you stand to watch this stuff? So like, I cannot stand it. I'm like, my whole theory is if you do not understand what the other side is talking about, you can't function.
I agree.
Right? And so I read a lot. Like I said, I'm a professional student, it seems like. So I'm doing a whole bunch of Homeland Security studies now, and I've been digging into FEMA and DHS and a bunch of other stuff. So I read a lot and I watch a lot of different stuff. I don't just watch conservative news, but you're right. I do spend a lot of time, not necessarily on Rumble, but on YouTube and X, because the mainstream media is now about they're not about telling you the news. They're about telling you how you have to feel about it. I don't need you to tell me how to feel, dude. I just want you to tell me the facts and let me decide it out. You know, that's why I don't watch mainstream media. I haven't watched mainstream media in probably a decade.
No, you're fine. And what's going to get us to our next category of accept and embrace. The first hoax of El Trumpo's presidency, and I'm sure there's going to be many, many more. So Elon Musk was at the inauguration, and Elon Musk, a lot of people are saying he saved America by buying X, formerly known as Twitter, because it allowed free speech. It didn't allow things like Hunter Biden's laptop. You couldn't even put it in a direct message, a DM, and send it to someone. They dissolved it. And if you said certain things on the vaccine or Fauci or Hunter Biden or Joy B or anything, or the election, boom, you were kicked off. You were muted. I know a lot of accounts that were. And so he buys it and it says free speech to everybody. And my thing is, well, Rubio, what if someone's saying something rude or violent or something? Like, fine. I love to hear dumb people. And I love when my kids hear dumb people, because then I can say, see, there's an idiot. I want you to hear that person so you understand what stupidity really looks like. They hate Mexicans. They hate blacks. They hate whatever. I don't care. Yes, say it as much as you want. That way I can say, you're a moron. I don't have to talk to you anymore. I don't have to listen to you. But you have the right to say it. I don't care. You're not going to offend me. I've said that a billion times. You can't offend me. So Elon Musk is there at the inauguration. He's pumped up to high hell. Trumpo talks about we're going to be the first country to plant a damn flag on Mars. He's going crazy. He's also set up DOGE, the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. He's going off on that. And everyone is now starting to super realize that, like you said, the mainstream media just coddles you and either presses you with fear or here's how you should feel. This is the only thing you're going to say. And CNN dove right in. I'm not going to show you the video yet, but Jenna, do you have the video of CNN with Democratic Representative Robert Garcia and Jim Acosta? So they're talking about what Elon Musk did when he was giving a speech.
About the inauguration yesterday, Elon Musk, I'm sure you saw this, the head of the new Department of Government Efficiency, he spoke yesterday, and during his speech, he used a hand gesture that looked like a Nazi salute. Let's watch that.
You know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one. This one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Okay, so they cut it right there. They talk about it and they cut it right there. And if you're watching, like, kind of, oh, okay, what's going on? But here's the thing. It was easily broken down on social media, on X, on everything else within seconds. Because all you have to do is just let the video play. And so this is where you get people like reporters. I'm using reporters because I think reporters at some point is almost becoming like a 4-letter word. Okay, it's not as as shiny as it once was. Like, oh, we're reporting. So reporters like this guy named Kazan D. Sidhu. This guy is incredible. If you do not follow this guy, you need to, because he does videos like this all the time and he breaks down things. Like he'll break down something for 15 minutes of, okay, here's what you thought you saw. Here's what really happened. So this is a 2-minute videos, but I want you to play. Go ahead, Jenna. Kazan De Azu, the guy with dreads.
So there's clips going around on mainstream and social media of Elon doing what appears to be a Hitler salute. And I want to show you just how easily editing can make something appear much worse than it actually is. First, check out this clip from a popular reel going around right now.
Making it happen. Thank you.
Did you notice where it cuts off? Now I'm going to show you the full clip.
The elections, they come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
So a few facts first. The Nazi salute.
So keep going. Let it go, Jenna.
Does not involve putting your palm on your heart. This is the Nazi salute. Now, there's two ways to interpret Elon's actions. You can either believe that he was doing the Nazi salute and he did it improperly, or you can believe that it was an innocent moment where a man who is somewhat awkward was excited and wanted to show the crowd that his heart was with them, as he said himself explicitly in the audio. Now, we're going to see misrepresentations like this a lot over the next 4 years. So I have invitations to both the pro-Trump and the anti-Trump camp. For the anti-Trumpers, just be skeptical of what you hear, because for the last 10 years, we've all been told that Trump is literally Hitler. But the same people that said he was literally Hitler were also smiling and waving for the camera during the inauguration today. I'm not asking you to be blindly optimistic that Trump is going to be a good president. Just be skeptical of the people that tell you that the world is ending, as they are doing in this clip. And for the pro-Trump camp, a lot of us are really excited, which is great. But half the country doesn't see what we're excited about. And they've been told for 10 years that everything is going to end if Trump is in office. So now they're seeing shadows and they're turning them into demons. And the thing to recognize is that these people aren't stupid. They're just scared. And you don't help someone that's scared by yelling at them. Yes, logic, facts, and truth matter, but so do emotions. And no logical change can happen without emotional safety being established first. Think about it. If it was a friend or family in your life and you knew that they were being misled, how would you treat them? You probably want to be patient, kind, and gentle because they're already scared. So we don't need to also make them feel rejected.
Fantastic. I mean, it's so easily, like he says, so easily debunked when, okay, you're cutting like 1 second clip. And it's like I've said 1,000 times. Oh, my God, Nick Humble hates black people that kills puppies. And someone cuts it to Nick Humble hates black people. It's like, no, that kills puppies. He also hates white people that kill puppy and Mexicans that kill puppy and sub-60s that kill puppies. Matter of fact, anyone that kills a puppy, he doesn't like. And it's just so easy now that it's so easily debunked that, reporters can go all the time now. Okay. Jenna says that's going to happen now. And here's the thing, if you're going to start cutting up videos, you know how easily this can be done for every single person. Jenna, can you play the next video of AOC? So she's a Nazi because that's the rules, and you're laughing because it's so dumb. You're like, dude, this is so stupid, Rubio. I can't believe you just said that. Because it is so dumb to me. Am I wrong here, Humble?
No, I we dealt with this for 4 years, man.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like we all knew it was going to come back. It's just I don't think it's going to come back with the vengeance because. I think people like Joe Rogan and what you're doing here and what guys are doing on other YouTube channels are changing the way people get their news because they're sick of listening. Jim Acosta just looks like a retard. He looks like a dumbass. And so you just made yourself look like a dumbass. Well, why do I want to go watch you? Why do I want to spend any of my time watching you if I know that you're going to clip that? It's like Tim Kaine out of Virginia.
Yeah.
The only time that dude talks is to get a zinger. All he wants is to see, I got you. That's all he's after. I got you moment.
Michelle says, when you put your hand to your heart and your chest and raise it is absolute Nazi salute. So there's literally 100 pictures, Michelle. And I would agree, but I think it's like this, to be honest. And it's hand flat. It's not up. And when he literally says, my heart goes out to you. And don't forget, Elon's got a splash. He's got like Asperger's or something like that, where he's got a splash of something. Huh?
He does.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reason why his mind's moving like that. Okay? And he was just with Ben Shapiro, who's like a notorious big-time Jew in Auschwitz, like literally last year. So what was he doing? Scouting out the camp? Like, why would he go with like one of the most famous Jews in the world to Auschwitz? Like, and he even carries around. He's got a little lanyard that one of the Israeli hostages family gave him with the names of all the hostages, and he wears it all the time. I have it on video, and I meant to get it to Jenna, but I forgot. So this guy, he's not a Jew hater. He's not. Him being just a weirdo and just doing one of these, and my heart goes out to you. Couldn't he have done it like this, like a 13-year-old girl, that's at a Carrie Underwood concert? Sure. Did he?
So now, anytime someone puts up their hand, they're a Nazi now? That's where we're headed.
I guess if your hand is on your heart, you immediately got to go down and then up. But yeah, in one country, sign language means one thing, in another country means another.
Be careful how you put your hand in the air.
Well, yeah.
It's like
I'm hating
like
a cab. I like Nazis.
It's like we were talking about free speech. Like, I understand that there are hate speech laws in this country, but that's the first notion of taking freedom of speech away.
Oh, yeah. And it's one of those, you can think that, okay, Rubio, we never heard you, LOL. Heard we do what? You didn't hear me on? What did you hear about your comment? Jenna says, in one country, a sign language means one thing, and in another country, it means another. Oh, so yeah. That could be something else. I don't know. I don't do sign language. I can do my name, CHRIS, and I love you, or is that hang loose or something? I don't know. If anyone knows sign language, Nick Monahan, if you're watching, he does it. So to me, this is just another one. It's going to be over and easy. The more they do this, and they have a right to do it. If they want to do it, go ahead and do it. But like you said, it just makes them look dumb. And it's going to just push people with common sense away because you're like, dude, it's obviously not a Nazi symbol. Why would he go with Ben Shapiro to Auschwitz literally a year ago? Why would he go with one of the most prolific Jews in media to the hell of Jews? Was he there rubbing his face in it? Like, ha, 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 I'm going to do this to you? No, it's just dumb. It's like one of those things that this is one where it was a big day for El Trumpo, big day for Elon, and they're just trying to grab at straws like, oh my God, this is the bad thing, which you can do it all you want, and it just makes you look worse, which I don't care. All right, doesn't matter to me. I'm keeping you on for the next 2 segments. I don't care if you have anything to do.
No, I got nothing to do, man.
Working hard is not enough. Humble, I've broken the code. This is a long time code. Every man out there, I want you to listen up. Maybe take notes if you need to. Just record from 47 minutes on. I've broken the code. Every man who's married and or has a girlfriend, significant other, whatever, knows that if you are ready to go someplace at 5:30, you either have to stress about leaving on time, okay, especially if you've played sports because you hate to be late, especially if you're a bigger guy like Humble and myself, because if you were late 1 second, you had to do extra conditioning. So you at 5:30 you have to be, but if you have a significant other, i.e. a girlfriend, i.e. a wife, whatever, 5:30, you need to almost tell them, babe, we need to be ready about 5:05. We're walking out the door. All right, because you got to give that little 15-minute fluff window of God knows what's going to happen, because for some reason time is on a different vortex of information for ladies. Call me sexist. I don't know what to tell you. That's a true statement. So Humble, I'm in Texas with my wife. We're there for the national championship game, and I'm in a hotel, and she says to me, all right, I'm ready to go. And I'm sitting there just doing social media or whatever like that. And I can look around the room, and I can tell she's not ready to go, because she's one of those women that, God love her, everything's got to be put away when no one's in the house. There was a show I did a couple months back where she got upset because I left a pair of shorts on the ground while we went to dinner. Mind you, no one's in the house. Like literally no one's going into her bedroom, but you can't put the shorts on the ground because the ghost of upstairs might see it. I have no idea. So I look around and I go, hey, I'll get up when you're at the door. And she looks, I'm ready to go. And I said, I'll get up when I see you at the door. And this is where you got to hold strong, guys, because right now there's a little rage coming from her and I could feel it. And I started to bite my inner cheek and can I hold strong? And she's like, I'm ready. And she starts walking towards the door, and then boom, she notices a light's not turned off. She turns off the light. She notices that the ice bucket is misaligned. The remote is not at the perfect corner of the table. This pillow needs to fluff. And I'm sitting there, and she's still going. And I'm not making any comment, not making one comment. And then she finally goes, okay, let's go. Not joking. 13 minutes later, and I go, I will get up when you are at the door. And she goes, oh my God, I'm ready to go. And I go, I will get up. See, this is where you got to hold strong, Humble. You've got to stay strong and just say, I promise when you get to the door, I will get up. She goes back, notices the shower door is not closed, goes over there, picks up her phone. Oh, she's got to check a couple texts. Oh, someone called. Not joking, it was a total of 27 minutes. So I gained 27 minutes of sitting down, relaxation time. And then finally, I'm ready to go. I said, when you get to the door, and we're not like in a 7,000 studio apartment here, 7,000 square feet. I could see the door is 6 feet away. When you get to the door, honey, I'll get up. She finally gets to the door. I hear the opens the door. I go, let's go. And I walk out. So Umble, you have to fight the initial urge to pester and just write it out. Do you feel like this is something that you can handle?
We might live with two women that do the same shit.
No, it's not two women, dude. It's all women. I'm convinced of it.
So I get Jen. I want to leave at 10 o'clock and it's 9:45.
Oh,
I'm like, hey, we're walking out the door right now, knowing that it's going to take 13 to 15 minutes for her to finish her regimen of whatever keys, wallet, purse, go to the bathroom, move this, put dishes here, do that, do this.
See, Nanamona, I had to vacuum the kitchen floor before we left the house. What's going on? Is there surgeons coming in, Nanamona? Why would you need to vacuum the damn kitchen floor before you leave? Who's coming in there? I don't get it. Is Dr. Quinn Medicine Women doing open heart surgery on your floors? Like, this is so, Jenna says this is true. So guys, I've given you the keys to the castle. Whether you want to use it or not, that is on you. So working hard is not enough. It's got to work hard and smart, like I always say. And Jenna says, if her kids did it, if Nanamona's kids vacuum, it wasn't good enough. Oh, that's standard. 100%. That's just a woman thing. I'm convinced. Call me sexist. I don't know what to tell you. This is for Rita says, that's my little buddy right there, my little Christmas buddy. This is for Joel's. I don't know what to tell you. She gave me an eye roll because Jolie's forehead she has the strongest forehead. She's like a Cro-Magnon because how many times she eye rolls me per day. You could put like a 45-pound bar here and her eye roll is so strong she could literally lift that bar up because she gives me so many eye rolls. We're moving on. Confidence is the key. So El Trumpo and JD Vance, they did their whole song and dance. It was great, blah, 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 along with their families, cute families. Side note, do we need to talk about how tall Barron is and how powerful he is and just how he's just hilarious to me. Ended their night at the Commander-in-Chief ball with the troops. Okay, so one of the things, I guess what they do is they cut a cake, and this is a damn big cake. It had like an airplane on it. They cut a cake with swords. All right. So El Trumpo and JD Vance get these swords, and they're not like little baking or whatever, cake knives. It's a damn sword, like a Ginsu sword or shogun or whatever the hell that thing is. Ginsu's a knife. And these two start cutting it out. And of course, YMCA comes on and El Trumpo starts dancing with the sword. Now, Jenna confirms that we're only going to play like 13 seconds of the song because I don't want to get it taken down. You need to watch. Even Melania gets into it, she never does. And then major shout out to the female guard behind El Trumpo, because as I was watching this, I was laughing my ass off just looking at El Trumpo do his dance. But then I kept thinking, he's going to stab her because there's a female right behind him and he's doing the sword. He's doing like this. He's boom, like this. I'm like, he's going to stab her. And she's as stoic as could be. I don't know how she kept character and didn't start roaring. Jenna, play the video of El Trumpo dancing. Keep it going. Keep it going. Look at the guard. Look at the guard behind her. She's got to be like, what the hell is happening? Like right there. She's going to get stabbed right there.
See that.
You didn't see that?
No,
He's just around. God love him. It's going to stab her again right there. All right, Jenna. And then he gives her the sword. He's probably like, oh, Jesus, I didn't even know there was someone behind me. Here you go, honey. But so good. You hadn't seen that?
No, I didn't. I watched the executive signings, and then I don't know. That was probably at like 9.
Yeah.
And then Jen had to get up at 4, so we were like, let's go to bed. So I think we we watched some other stuff on Newsmax and some other stuff on YouTube, and then we were like, you know what? Let's just. I think about 9:30, 10 o'clock, we were like, all right, we're done. So I didn't
That's fantastic. Yeah, it was late because it was later here too. You were 3 hours ahead of me. Nana Mona says he can't dance, and no, that's the best part is he can't. He's you talk about confidence is the key. He's a terrible dancer, but God love him. He's out there. He didn't stab her, so that was a positive. Even Melania was out there getting her groove on. I didn't even see what JD Vance was doing. I was too focused on El Trumpo, making sure he wasn't stabbing her.
Speaking of Melania Trump, so did she look like? I read something today that was like, you know what? I always thought that Trump was the muscle behind this whole relationship, but after seeing Melania at the inauguration, like, man, that woman could have fucking froze people, dude.
Well, yeah, she looks like she's coming in with a vengeance because they just raided Mar-a-Lago, blah, blah, blah. And, Barron, when the first time he was in middle school, even high school, so they stayed in Mar-a-Lago a lot. She's already said she's moving into the White House. So she's going to come in hot.
Good for her.
Yeah, I agree. Nick Humble, where can people find you?
Nick Humble or HumbleN78 on X or sentinelstrength.net or Nick Humble or Sentinel Strength on YouTube.
Fantastic. Nick Humble, always great to see you, my man. I appreciate it.
Oh, hey, before we go. So did you see the addition? My wife, for a Christmas gift, her employees got her a Marcus Mariota signed jersey. That's her favorite player.
Okay.
So she had it framed. She spent like 2 hours framing that thing up. And she's like, where are you going to put it? And that's where she wanted it. So it was in every episode if I start doing podcast again. So it will be there. That's her guy, right? That was the first year we had season tickets when we were dating at Oregon. He was the
Okay, you want to hear a great Marcus Mariota story?
I'm good for it.
Okay, so I was running Oregon's camps back 15 years ago when NCAA would allow me to run them. And they always give a tour to the kids. You do on the field from 8 to 11, 11 to 12. You have lunch, 12 to 1. You get a tour of the facilities. All the kids love it. We're going through their like leisure room where there's ping pong and pool tables and all that, blah, blah, blah. And all the kids are lining up. And this guy sitting on the couch stands up and everyone's like, oh. And I go, who's that? And they're like, because when I watch football, I watch just fourth downs. And they're like, pointing down to the coffee table, and there's a Sports Illustrated, and Marcus Mariota's on it. I go, okay. And they're like, that's him. And he had just won the Heisman or whatever, high up, and I had no idea who he was. And he was literally standing right next to me, like literally shoulder to shoulder. And I go, oh, you're that dude? And he goes, I'm that dude. And he was like, he was laughing because it was like, I didn't give two craps because I didn't know who he was. But on that note, he was a super, super, super nice guy, just not overly big. So he's not a long snapper. So what the hell do I know? If he was threw the ball upside down and backwards, I probably would have known him. But so that's my Marcus Mariota story. And he was super nice. He took pictures with all the kids. I thought it was funny.
Well, since the Washington Commanders were ripping my team, the Detroit Lions, and Jen's favorite player is Mr. Mariota, she was sitting there very carefully choosing her words during that football game because she was like, I can't believe, but he might get there. So apparently we're rooting for the Commanders this weekend.
I got you. Nick Humble, peace out, my man. Thank you.
Later, man.
On that note, don't forget it. 9 o'clock? So an hour and a half from now, you got AC of AC Sports Live, 9 o'clock. And then at 9:30, you got The Ride with Chevy and Nasty. Both are phenomenal shows. I will definitely be watching. I always like to comment on AC and Chevy and Nasty both do great jobs. AC's more sports related. Great sports takes. I know he's going to be happy because his Eagles won. And Ride and Chevy, they do 300-pound poetry. They go with little sports, a little Canadian. They talk about food sometimes, which I don't know why. Canada's food is trash. Anyway, let's go to the bottom line. The bottom line for all you new listeners and watchers is the stuff that you should have learned without even realizing you learned it. Thank you, Nana Mona. Number one, have your quote-unquote fun, but just know at some point, you have to pay the price. That goes back to like the story I said where the kids were left alone for 4 years and eventually daddy came home, and that's where we're at right now. Number two, if they keep it up at this pace, mainstream media will be done in less than 4 years. If they keep it up at this pace, mainstream media will be done in less than 4 years. When you have an Elon Musk hoax, within 4 seconds, it gets debunked. You guys got to stop, man. If you don't stop, you're just going to keep losing people, and then you're going to just be completely gone. Because you can even look at just the numbers, simple viewership numbers of like Joe Rogan, or like he said Tim Pool, almost said Tim Pool, or PBD, that's Patrick Bet David's podcast. They dwarf them. Or Megyn Kelly, she gets like 30 million views, and someone like CNN or MSNBC or even Fox gets like 2 million views. So the tide is turning, guys. And number 3, patience is the key. This goes back to my tip for men. You have to be strong. You have to be patient. Sit down. Fight the urge to get up. You can do it. On that note, thanks for watching The Rubio Method. If you have any questions, you can email rubio@therubiomethod.com. Shout out to Jenna in the back. She did a wonderful job. As always, we'll be back next Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll let you know. Jenna, I'm out.
Welcome to The Rubio Method. Thanks for watching The Rubio Method. Be sure to spread the word, and don't forget to subscribe, like, or follow on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook.